What is going on, guys? Axel here. Today I'm going to give y'all a brief rundown on One Piece Ambition and kind of how to just navigate the whole thing. Not too many comprehensive guides here, so this might be a little bit of a longer video, but let's just go ahead and get into it. We're going to start from top to bottom. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll get into it really fast here. So we'll go from top left to top right, then bottom left to bottom right. So first things first is the top left. As you can see, your bounty up there. This is pretty much how you play the game. Your objective is to get this as high as possible, and yeah. If you click on your profile on the top left up there, you can see some information here. You can pick what character you have on the left by clicking on this little icon down here, right beside the share button on the very bottom. You can just pick whatever character you want, and then it'll pop up. The share button will just, you can send it to your friends on WeChat or through your memories, or maybe even QQ. I don't know. I don't use QQ. And then on the right side, you have your profile picture, your title, your level. So I'm level 75, and I'm a little bit over a quarter way through this level. My bounty, so 30 million. It's explaining where everything is at. Then it shows my PvP team, what I'm using, my characters. So I have 56 of 72 characters, apparently. I didn't know there were 72 characters in the game. These are like badges and other things like fragments and all that. The 122 out of 216. So you just kind of collect these over time. It's not something you just instantly get up. The 22 out of 27 is going to be your extra ability. I'll show y'all in a little while, but you level these up to increase your bounty. 82 out of 117. These are like, I consider them treasures, I guess. So you get them through numerous things. You can get it through spending money. You can get it through playing the game. And there's a bunch of other ways to get these, but it's very difficult to get a lot of these. If you're free to play, you will never finish this. Next below is the ship levels. So I'm currently at 1225 out of 1500, and you can see it seems to me it's a little bit valuable because of the fact that it's already given me 2 million in my bounties. So that's pretty big to me. Next, 9 out of 15. So there's 15 ships in the game. I have 9 of them, and you have to level up some of them. So currently I'm leveling up this ship that's at level 145. It goes all the way up to 200, and yeah, a lot of work. Next is the Sanji food. So Sanji cooks food for you, but you have to go out and like fish and all that. So your goal is to eventually max these all out, and shows you some fish you've caught. I'll show you where to catch those later. Next are fragments. This is a pretty big part. You want to be getting as much fragments as you can by spending gold and by doing your mirror event, which I'll show you later. And then lastly is your gear. So this would be your biggest way of leveling up in this game. You want to, it's a very similar system to Naruto Mobile, so it's very important that you just keep leveling up your gear, and yeah. Lastly, I forgot to mention on the very top right here, you can press this little button right here beside the gold little banner, and it gives you 4 options. We'll just go through it real fast. The top one is name change. It costs, you have to have one of these scroll things. It costs 60 diamonds. You get 1 free name change, and then they charge you more. So pick your name wisely whenever you're playing. The second one, this is like where you can pick what your profile picture is in the game. I believe there's another way to get to this. We'll get to that later. This is your frames, so you can get your frames here, and if you know how to read Chinese, then you can figure out how to unlock these, but otherwise you're kind of just guessing and running through with it. Next is going to be your titles. Pretty straightforward. A lot of these are temporary titles, but some of them you get to keep, but there is a lot of titles. A lot. Next, you have your emotes and that good stuff. You can choose which emotes you want to have on the side over here. And yeah, this purple one you get from PvP. Very difficult to obtain if you're far away from China. Next, on the very bottom will be, you can pick it with any character, right? So you can go through all the characters you have, but you can pick what you want your finishing move to be. So this applies to PvE, PvP, whatever. When you finish a level, it'll play this little cutscene at the end of it. And then, I don't know why it's here at the very bottom right here, but you can also go here to select what you want your ship to be. So right now I have Aokiji. He's riding the, I'll show you. He's riding his bike across the ocean, right? Pretty cool. But then if you go back here, the second tab, then at the very bottom here, you just pick, I don't know, anyone. You can pick Kuma, for example. And then it'll change the background that you have. Alternatively, if you don't want to go through all them settings, you can double tap and then it zooms it in, and then you press the bottom right, the little recycle button, and it just takes you here. So you can do that pretty straightforward. Next, to the right of the bounty is a little bag. I'm not going to click on it, but it essentially takes you to WeChat. So yeah, there's that. The little 4 squares is, you've seen this in Naruto Mobile if you've ever played it, but you have some information like tech support, QQ, VIP system, all that kind of shit. As far as I know, there isn't any VIP system in this game. I really don't think there is, and that's just really about it. So now sliding over to the right side, the 158, here's your berries. This is the most important thing, in the second most important thing in the game to me, but probably the most important thing. This is how you progress through the game, you level up, all that good stuff. And then if you click on all these arrows, it'll show you ways to get berries, your gold coin. So if you ever need more, just click through them. So example, I'll click on the 4th one. So it's letting me know that PvP will give me gold coins. So if you go over to the right side here, click on the gold mission button. If you win 20 matches, or it's either win or defeat people, either or, because it seems like the number always changes for me. And then it says like ×3, so maybe 1 win is ×3, right? But you should do this weekly. You should always try to max out and get 20 and do 1 PvP every day for the 100 coins on the left side. So yeah, always save up your coins and all that, because I will show you what they're used for later. To the right of that, you have your friend list. So these are people that have added you. It shows you their rank and all that kind of stuff. Some more. I think these are people that are actually on your WeChat friend list. I only have 2, so that's not available yet. This is just like the league I believe that you're in. I'm not entirely too sure, but it's pretty much irrelevant for us. And then nothing there. Next is the trophy. Pretty straightforward. It shows you where you're at in your server. So with bounty, I'm ranked 51 at the moment. I could be higher, but that's a lot of work. The second tab is your level. So I'm currently 3rd on my server at level 75, and the others are 77. The top 2 players have slowed down drastically because at a certain point, it's not worth really leveling up any higher, like by spending more berries. But I'm pushing it pretty aggressively because I want to be number 1. That's really what it comes down to. This right here, 56, I'm trying to think of what 56 could be off the top of my head here. How many characters? Okay, so this is how many characters you have. So the top player on our server has 60 characters. I missed Khalifa. You have to buy her, and then I don't have Enel. I don't have Crocodile. So 6, 7, 8. I should be at 59. I could be 3rd if I was, pushing it a lot more hard, but I unfortunately did not. This right here is the top player on your server for PvP. So apparently there's a bunch of gold 3s here and a bunch of gold 4s, which is pretty cool. I'm not really big into PvP because of how the system works, but and also because of my ping, right? In America, there's bad ping. Next right here should be the cross server tournament, I believe. Essentially, these are guilds, right? Your clans and all that kind of stuff. And it's more specific down here. So on this server, I'm in the top guild. And then it shows you the bounty of your whole guild, essentially. So you want to ideally be in the highest guild that you can get into for maximum rewards. If you want to increase your bounty really fast, you need to be in the highest guild. So it requires, a little bit of communication. And if you don't know Chinese, then you're going to be suffering trying to figure it out. But yeah, just try your best with it. On the bottom, the very, very bottom down here, will be, I'll show y'all in a little bit, but essentially, this is your treasures that you get from the story and a bunch of other things. So I have 82 treasures. The top player has 87. To get to 87 at this point in time would require spending a lot of money. And that's a lot of money I don't have. So that's kind of that. And one thing I neglected, and you might have noticed it, is on the very top right, it shows the white little tab that we're on right here. If you press the right side of it, you'll see it flip over. This is cross server. So I think we're in like I believe it's server 110 to 114. So it shows you the top players for each specific scenario on cross server as well. You can go back home here. And then settings. I don't really mess with settings too much. And if you have a good phone, it really shouldn't matter. But essentially what you have here is like 60 FPS, 30 FPS, MSAA times 4, which is the quality of the graphics, and a bunch of other things here. You have your sounds right here, so you can turn some of this down if you want to. And yeah, there's not really too much important things going on here as long as you have a decent phone or if you're using a decent emulator, right? This is just, a little bit of UI stuff here, nothing too crazy. You can kind of mess around with it if you want, but I personally haven't messed with it. Down here is just downloading certain packages for Wi-Fi. I don't know if they actually give a reward, an award, because I'm pretty sure they were all downloaded from the very beginning, so I'm not too sure about that. But these are, just pretty big files. Not too big, but, a couple gigs, I would say. This very bottom one, I don't know much about this tab, but what the important thing is the gift button right there. I'm not going to click on it because it'll take me away, but in the middle of the screen, you'll see the gift button. You click on it, you put in your server information, your code and all that, and you typically get free rewards from that. So that is everything on the very top. We should be good. Now we will head over to the left side of the screen towards the middle. So this Aokiji little tab here isn't always here. This is typically for big events. So essentially these are just events for a specific character normally. You can share it if you like on the bottom left, saying, just the cool background and all that. But as an example, you click on the event. The bottom right has rewards. So if you did everything, you get the rewards. Cool stuff. And it shows you the day, right? So if you don't know how to read the basic date, so it's saying that the two far right events are coming out on April the 11th, which is their time, not our time over in America. So really it's 4:10 for us, but for them it'll be 4:11. So yeah, Aokiji on the top left up there, that's just an event, and you'll get a lot more throughout time with the game. Below that is the main events, the basic events. You should always try to do these. It's not immediately self-explanatory, but you'll figure it out. So this one right here is a check-in every day to receive rewards. If you check in for, I guess, 20 days or 14 days or whatever, you get her. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Miss Golden Week, I believe. But anyways, you always want to do your daily check-in if they have an event for it. Currently, there is a event going on where you spend gold coin to get more meat, and when you get more meat, you essentially get free extra meat. So it's very important that you do this event if you're trying to build up your bounty, essentially. This is an event for people that have quit playing the game, so you can, if you have a lot of WeChat friends or QQ friends, you essentially get a lot of good rewards if they come back. This is a event with friends, so you pick 2 friends. It can be from your guild or anything like that, but you work together to get the maximum reward, and yeah, that's about that. A PvP event that only applies after midnight for my time. Another event where you just kill things. You can auto the fights too. This was an old event. I don't know why it's still up, but it's still up. This event was I'm not gonna click on it because it takes me to WeChat or whatever, their website. Not gonna click on it, but there was a award for doing this. Another event where you just play a little mini game. This right here comes around sometimes, and it's like auto raid and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. And then if you verify your account with a Chinese number, which I highly recommend you doing if you can get access to one, but don't use any random person's number. Just, use one that that you can own, essentially. But you get 100 free coins, and it's always worth protecting your account over. Below that is the little list with the feather pen. So this is essentially your daily missions. So on the right side, it shows what you've done and all that. And if you don't know what it means, right, you just click on the arrow and it'll show you. Like, it'll take you to where you need to go. So this is telling me to do something in my little ship area. We will get to this later, but essentially it's wanting me to go fuck around in here and do things. So you get rewards for hitting certain levels, right? So at 10, apparently you get 30 coins. At 40, you get 30 coins. You get 40 coins at 70, and then no coins except for the two. I'll show you what these are, but it's for summoning basic people. So you always want to try to get a 100 every day at least, and once a week. This resets weekly, but you get 500 coins and then a mystery character. It's typically nothing good, but sometimes you can get something good. So always be doing that. Once a day, you can also on the bottom left get free 100 meat. This is a very valuable thing that we will discuss later. But yeah. Next on the list, on the bottom left in the middle, you'll have a bunch of objectives and missions. Translators have not been very kind to me for this, but essentially, like, all these like items right here, you want to get these, but you have to figure out how to get them, right? So for the briefcase, it's saying get a ship to 3 stars. For the snail below it, it's saying spend 888,888 something. It's either going to be gold coin or diamonds. We hope it's gold coin. We hope it's not diamonds, because if it's diamonds, that's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's ridiculous. I mean, that's very hard to do. And there's just more. You can just fiddle around and try to get as much as you can. So you press the arrow and try to figure it out, essentially. And yeah. Very bottom left, these are important moments in the campaign PvE story, where if you complete a certain area, you get 20 red snails, and it goes up, and this will keep going up the more the game comes out. But it's very rare that you get these moments, because it just takes forever to level up. So yeah, you can get up to, at the moment, 140. I imagine, because at this current moment we're in Skypia, so I imagine by the time we get towards the very end of the series, right, it'll probably say like times 500 or something crazy. Next, with the bear paw, is the battle pass. I do recommend getting the battle pass if you can. If you're free to play, you will never get this, so it don't matter. But essentially, you're going to be missing out on a character if you never do the battle pass. On the second tab here, it's your weekly missions. So you can get, I think it's 10 to 12 levels a week. And it depends on just like the XP and what you get, essentially. But you use this to, so you say you get 10 levels a week, right? And you just go through here and you just get stuff. Very good stuff if you buy the premium version. If you're on the free version, it's just kind of, like, there's some decent stuff, like the 20 knowledge books and all that, but nothing too crazy. This is the shop after you get to the end of the battle pass. There are some valuable things here, right? So you want to get Kuma 2 stars, or whoever is in the battle pass, you want to get them 2 stars. You want to also buy as many of these books as you can, because this levels you up really, really fast, your bounty. I do recommend getting any type of treasure. So I picked up the Bible, and I picked up his little ship art. Those are going to increase your bounty pretty big, I would say. So yeah, just keep that in mind. The money and the little blue lightning bolt here, they don't really matter that much. You'll get those from plenty of other things. and then it shows you a record of how far people are in the battle pass. So the top player here is apparently he's at level 3,698. So I'm at 272, right? 272. So this dude has spent hundreds of dollars just on Kuma. And when he first came out, he was really busted. He was really OP. Now, because there's so many grabbers in the game, he's pretty much irrelevant. But I think he'll be better in the future whenever the time comes for that. So going on to the bottom left here, you have your mail. You can just check. This is your server chat. This is like friend chat and your guild. Like it shows. So this is your guild chat, actually. Sorry. So anyone that's talking, you can donate to people and you can see who's online, that kind of stuff. This should be your. So essentially, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm on this server's combined with 110, 11, 12, 13, 14, I believe, and you can just talk to people in this chat from here. This is private messages. Most of the time, this is nothing. Like you'll get messages, right, and it'll say, "Hey, let's be good friends" and all that. It's just something they automatically send. Before you freak out that this dude knows English, this is just an actual friend that plays in America as well. It's not actually, someone that's in China that speaks perfect English, right? And then this bottom one is kind of nothing. It's whatever. So yeah, then beside the messages is the chat button. And yeah, that's about it with that. So bottom left. The snail is an extra ability you get in combat. I might show y'all, I might not, I don't know. But essentially you want to level these up as high as you can, and on the far right, it'll show you like the ability. So the top left is a little yellow flashbang that increases, like, I believe your recovery speed. That freezes enemies in place. It shoots out a tornado right here, and it just goes on and on. The second tab is your people that you can summon into a fight. You get up to 5, and to get to summon these people, you have to have any of the characters 2-star, or you get these gold coins these gold little things on the top right, which are very valuable, but you want to use them very wisely. You cannot use these on red characters, and I think you can use it on anything else. So the orange characters, the purple characters, the blue characters, whatever. But you want to be careful with it because you only get so many of these. So yeah, and it'll show you, like, example what they do, right? So she does a little thing. He drags them to you and then hits them, and you don't get stuck, right? So you can keep doing things while they do that. So a good example is Kuma. He will actually grab you so you can't move, and then that little thing, if they hits him, they'll fucking, go crazy or whatever. Vivi will spin around, which is really good for PvP if you have bad ping. Ace. Just like a fire fist, right? Arlong, he does like a little double twist here, and it just goes on and on and on. One of my favorites is Foxy right now because it freezes them for like 5 seconds, and then you just kind of fuck them up, right? Pretty cool stuff. This is like your treasures, so you get these throughout playing the game, but yeah, you just essentially grab all these and then you get higher level. On the bottom right is where you use your purple books for knowledge. You have to have 20 each time, but you just keep leveling up like that, and you're good to go. And again, if you don't have any more, you just click on one of these to figure out how you get more. The treasures on this whole left side of the screen right here that I'm moving up and down, you can click on some of these. It might tell you how to get them, but I haven't translated each specific one. So, yeah, there's that. But your goal is to eventually get as many as you can, of course. Next is your boat. This is a very important part to me because I think in the way of Luffy, I think, okay, well, if you're going to prioritize anything, you should prioritize the meat. So you want to keep leveling up your ship, essentially, and it gives you over time, it gives you more bounty, which is really what you want. So yeah, you don't have to spend any berries or gold coins on the meat if you don't want to. However, I do strongly suggest it because you level up faster. So if you're far behind, like say you're level 70 and I'm level 75, say you spend 15, say you buy meat 15 times and I buy meat only 2 times. Eventually you will catch up to me. And it's kind of hard to tell what, everyone's doing, but you just kind of figure it out. And next is the little boat area. So you level up your boat here, and it increased my bounty. So it levels up your bounty very slowly, but your goal is to eventually get all of these ships, and yeah. That is that. You can view your ship on the bottom left here. You can spin it around, and you can move this to zoom in on it a little bit. Pretty cool stuff here. This is your fragment page, very important. What you need to know here, I'm going to press the recycle button. So if you wanted to recycle some of these, you could. I will never recommend it. Unless you get to max level on one of these, then it might be worth doing it. So it says for the blue, it goes up to 20 stars. So at the moment, getting rid of them isn't important to me. But above the recycling button on the top right is the little globe. This is how you get, this is how you just get more fragments. So at the moment, I don't know how to get these other ones, but I imagine you have to max out like a bunch of other things first, and then you get that. So, yeah. Next is your gear on the very bottom here. So the recycle button on the bottom right, you can recycle your gear for more dice. The middle button, the little circle thing, it automatically puts the best gear you have on. So right now it does not think the gold gear is better, even though it says it is an upgrade. And the sword here just kind of shows you how to get the gear right. So you have to do raids, and we'll get into that a bit later. This is how you level up your gear. So it shows you, so you have your piece of gear in the middle. To the left of it is the V. So you have level 5 dice. You have to have 30 level 5 dice to have a chance at leveling it up. And as you can see on the bottom right, there's a 20% chance for me to get it to the next level. And it goes up each time you decide to upgrade it, but it only goes up by 5%. So is it worth it? At this point, no. But you do have this. And for each level you're at, it has a higher level dice. So like example, these boots, it says I need level 6 dice and I need 57 of them. I only get like 100 dice a day, so it's only one level up a day, and I only have a 50% chance. So leveling up through gear has become very slow, but it just kind of is what it is at this point. Here, if you got duplicates, you can get your gear starred up. So your gear can go up to 5 stars. You always want to try to go as high as you can with it, but getting red dupes are very difficult. So what this really comes down to is your gold gear. If you get gold gear and it's a dupe, then you're going to do this to increase its star. And then lastly, you have these little tokens on the top right. This increases like the stats on the gear. So it says I need 8, right? So if you count the numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8. And I have 10. So level it up. And there's that. Now, I didn't know this for a while, but the button to the left of that, so it says 6,000 money to upgrade it, right? If I press the button to the left of that, you can trade in dice for more tokens. But you only want to trade in the old dice that you can't use anymore. So if you're using level 6 gear, you should never give up your level 6 dice. That just makes no sense. So if you have any leftovers, right, then you can turn them into tokens, which is always a good thing. All right, bottom left. This little book here is how you level up your just more bounty, essentially. You get these numbers, like everything is 2, 3. The reason why it's 2, 3 is because you get these through summoning. I don't summon a lot, so it's kind of whatever, but that's how you level this up. This is kind of like, I'm trying to think of, I think Naruto Mobile had something similar, I believe. I'm not too sure. But you get all the characters from this, and it gives you a massive bounty increase. So an example here is that I got everyone from Drum Island here, and it gave me like a 30k bounty increase, which is what we love to see. We love to see it. This one right here is letting me know I have 3 of 4. I'll go back to it. I have 3 of the 4 characters here, and this the one on the left we're getting from the monthly event essentially. But when I get this, I'll get an additional like 30k on my bounty, maybe even 50k. It just depends on what it is. So your goal, of course, is to just get as many of these as you can. And yeah, the middle button, so this takes you back to your settings, right? The little shirt thing, because this is customization, so you can go through here, and you've seen this before. Just everything is here. Lastly is Sanji's cooking here. It shows you on the right side what you need to create stuff. So you need to have the mats for it and the money. So that increased my bounty a little more. More bounty increase. So that gave me about 9k in my bounty just from doing that. How do you get this stuff? By doing events and by, just doing fishing and all that. And I'll show y'all how to get into that. So that was the very far left, the little dots with the task right here. It takes you to that. Next, with the hat, the straw hat, it shows you the characters you have and eventually the characters that you will get later in the future. So example, with Ace here, I have him 2 stars, and I have 19 fragments out of 100. It will take 100 fragments to get him to 3 stars. And then if you press the little button beside it, this gives you a little more information, like what he can do and that kind of stuff. So if you scroll down, it shows you the characters I don't have. I don't have Crocodile. I don't have Blackbeard yet. I don't have Enel. I don't have, I can't remember his name, Magnalon or whatever. And so on and so forth. Out of all these characters, the only one I truly can't get right now is Khalifa. And I cannot get the Mr. 4 and whatever her name is. I forget. Aside from that, what you need to know here, you can press the power button right here to essentially build a team. And this will increase your stats. And it heavily depends on who you put here. But it'll always recommend the best for you. And you should be fine with that. You can see a little video here. Like when you unlock the character, it'll show you like a little video. And so if you want to see that again, you can see that, right? The middle button, it takes you to the training area so you can just practice with them. The little book here, it gives you a tutorial for each individual character, like how to play them and all that. So I learned how to play Mihawk and all that. And you should do it with everyone. You get no reward for this, but it just teaches you how to play the character. Sometimes it requires trial and error, and you'll get frustrated because you don't know what to do, but just try your best with it. And then lastly, the customization again. So if you're on a specific character, you can change what their ending cutscene is during a battle or whatever. Next, with Aokiji in the middle, this is the summoning area. You get this through red snails. So how do you get red snails? Well, earlier, as we mentioned, you get it from doing the story. But unfortunately, the only other way is very few missions. Occasionally will give you a few. And spending gold coins. Now, that's when it becomes an issue because you have to decide, do you want to increase your bounty and keep leveling up your ship? Or do you want to spend all your gold on getting characters? It's a hard decision. Maybe not for some, though, however. And this one requires blue snails. Blue snails are way more rare to get than red snails, and you will almost never come past them. So if you want to get Enel, Crocodile, and Garp, all 3 of them, you're going to be spending a lot of money getting these. This is your normal summons, so you get a few of these every day. You typically can do a 10 pull once a day, but it's nothing crazy. So I'll just go ahead and blow the 25 I have here. So yeah, nothing too crazy here. You just kind of have to deal with what you're given here. One other thing I will show in this area, and it applies to Enel and not here. If you click on the bottom right side, there's a controller. It lets you practice with a character essentially, but the magnifying glass here It shows you what characters are available in this little Aokiji pack right here. It shows you other people summoning for it, and it shows you your pity. So for Mihawk, it took me 150 pulls. For Ace, it took me 138, and for Aokiji, it took me 133. And currently, I've already spent 10 red snails towards the next character. And pity is always 150. Your goal is to get the character before 150, but sometimes it just happens. Next is the shop. This is a dangerous area because it makes you want to spend money, essentially. So on the very top right here, you can buy characters for diamonds and gold coin. Diamonds is just real currency here, so you have to spend money to get it, unfortunately. If you want to see how much money you spent, you press the I button on the bottom right. I don't want to look, that scares me. But we'll go through the tabs real quick. You can buy fragments here, which increase your BP drastically, your bounty. You can buy people's ships here, like their unique ship or whatever, but keep in mind, these cost snails. They don't cost gold coin or diamonds, so you have to spend diamonds or gold coins to get 10 snails to actually buy these. And it's very, is it worth it? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to you on that. You get these once a week for free, but afterwards it charges you money, but berries specifically. But if you spend 580 berries, you get 20 knowledge books, which is nothing. I don't recommend this at all. Like, I never buy any of these, but if you want to be the #1 player on your server, then you're going to want to buy these, unfortunately. Same with this here. You can spend diamonds or coins to get these. So for 288 diamonds, you can get all this food right here. It is not worth it. I'm just letting you know right now. If you buy this, you might be sped. Next, the second shop. This is like your in-game event shop. So this right here would be for PvP. You can get Smoker, and you can get this treasure right here, which I'm currently saving up for. These come by very rarely, but you do want to... Typically, I recommend getting the treasures and then the boat and the characters, kind of in that order. It don't really matter, really, but you get whatever you want, right? This right here is from the auto PvP event. You only get 3 a day unless you spend gold coin to do more. But yeah, so you can buy a ship here. You can buy characters, more fragments for the characters, more of the books, which this is actually worth buying if you are just willing to spend as much as you can on it. Kind of up to you on that, but like you see here, it says it has a max of 20, so to get 1 level up is 2,800. To me, that's a hefty price to pay. I don't know, but you can buy these too, but I don't think it's worth it. And yeah, next is from just you get these from like your guild events and all that kind of stuff. So your end goal here is to get Mr. 1 and then go into other things like getting the recipes and the knowledge books and the treasures. And then eventually you want to level this up too. Mine's at level 1, but I'm just trying to save them up right now, so I'm not too worried about it. Also on the very top up here to the right is your main event right here. So you can buy, like, you have to do the weekly events for this, and you have to get up pretty early if you're in America. It's like 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning. But you can buy Blackbeard fragments, which is what I'm currently doing. You can buy the treasure and then fish and all that kind of stuff. Here's a recipe, which eventually I will want to get. This is your 5-star shop. So you can get everything here that you need after 5 stars, and you do want to get these treasures at some point, but I don't even know how I'm going to do that, honestly. So this is something that you'll get years and years down the road. Like, it'll be a long time. This is how you can upgrade your ships. So all your ships start at level 1, and you get these little tokens right here. They're very hard to come by. You really only get them by a very certain event, typically. So I made the mistake and bought the one on the bottom right, in the bottom middle, and I won't get that ship for probably another like year, honestly. So I wasted one, unfortunately. But you do want to eventually max all of your ships out. This is a shop for another event, which I'll show y'all in a little bit, but you always want to buy, you have to pretty much buy everything. You don't get away with it, so your goal is to eventually just get all this. Next is your monthly pass here. For 30 Chinese yen, you can get 300 diamonds, a one-time 300 diamonds, and then I think it's every 3 or 4 days or something like that, you get depending on who the banner character is, you get a free thing from them. So always be trying to get that. And what is the most important thing is the daily you get 100 gold coins and 50 meat. To me, that's massive. And it shows you on the bottom more specifically what you get. So in a month, you'll get 3,000 gold coin. You'll get 1,500 meat. 30 Chinese yen is like, I think 5 USD. So nothing too crazy. This right here is kind of like an automated thing, so it makes the game just go even faster. So if you don't want to play the game and you buy this, then you can just, speed through everything and just get everything done really fast. I don't recommend it personally. Lastly, right here is the horn. This is your guild, whatever you want to call it. It shows you who is online, who the highest bounty is, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm currently 4th to the bottom here, but it kind of fluctuates because everyone's always doing different shit. So yeah, kind of depends. So if you look at the guild, I have it set by last active. So easy way to kind of tell through this is the dude at the very top has not been on in 3 days. The dude before him is 16 hours, 15 hours, so on and so forth. And then it shows like there's some dudes that were on like 20 minutes ago or whatever, that kind of stuff. Some information you can see under the marine here is like our whole guild is 1,322,000,000 in their bounty or whatever. There's 40 out of 40 members, and I don't know what the 33 out of 40 is. I assume that's like people that are like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe offline. There's 33 people offline is what I'm thinking. These are just events here. I'll show you these all in a second. This is another event. And this is kind of like the channel log, like what happens here. Has someone been kicked or whatever? But in short, if you want to go to your guild home, you press the orange button. If you want to leave the guild, you press the gray button beside it. It'll give you a little warning, but I'm not even going to have the thought of touching it. That kind of means nothing to me by touching that. So this is your guild lounge. The lounge is pretty cool. You can just kind of go through here. I'll show you really quick. The dude on the far left, you can give them little foods that you cook to increase your weekly, like once a week there's an event and you can eat food, and you want to eat the food because you get good rewards from it and additional boosted stats. This banner right here is the daily login, so you have to have at least 20 people do your daily login to get all the rewards here, but at 20 you get 10 of these. The big one's 15 here. You get 10 coin, and then at 10 it gives like random people more coins essentially. So yeah, that is that. Next is this little bag right here. This is just the shop, the guild shop. We saw how to get through there earlier. Once a week you can donate fragments to people. So you want to at least donate 3, so you get this right here. This is just, XP. The XP's big, but it shows you, I guess it won't, not here. But yeah, if you donate red snails, you get additional, blue snails additional, so on and so forth. And here beside it is the little log here, so it'll show, first of all, who donated what. And then a list of how many people have donated. You can go up to 10. I'm number 3 on the list. I've donated 8 items, and it resets weekly. Next over here on the wall is essentially Impel Down. The Chinese have a different name for it. I don't know why. But in short, just going through it real quick, the top right shows the people that are at the highest level. So who has done the best, that kind of stuff in your guild. The trophy shows you what guild is on top. So right now we are second, but we always come first. It doesn't matter. And then it shows you more stats, like who has done however much damage. So apparently I'm at the almost very bottom, which is fantastic. We'd love to see it. The little treasure here is all the rewards you can obtain through this, and it shows you what you get based off what your guild ranking is. So you can get the frames, more of these little gold rewards here, which is what, you always want to get the highest amount, right? But yeah, you just kind of go through it that way. Then here, the people thing, you can choose what character you use for the event. You can choose what snail, or whatever effect you want to use. And you can choose what people you can summon throughout the fight. You can, and then you just attack with a little yellow button down there. You can buy more attempts for gold. Sometimes your guild might ask you to if you're in the top guild or whatever, but very rarely should you spend gold on that. In the future, in case they show it, there is a cow event right here. It's just a quick little 1-minute PvE event. This right here will be it happens like once every 3 months, I believe, but cross-server event, and you have to do it because if you want Magnalon, you have to do it. So, yeah. So it says the next time it'll happen is May the 5th. Not looking forward to it. And lastly, here's the big one. This is your server event. It happens once a week, I believe, on Saturdays. For me, at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. But in China time, it's 20:30 and 2100. So between 8:30 p.m. and 9 is when that event happens. I really wish that we had it for us, like at that time. But it is what it is. The only other thing you need to know here is on the bottom right, the people character. So you can switch what your character is. So I can be Zoro here in the lobby. And if any of your other guild mates are here, they will see you as well. And yeah, that's it for the guild page. We'll end it off here with the bottom right here. So the navigating tool here. There's a lot of stuff here. We'll go through it really fast. On the far left side here is the raid. You essentially, the only thing you need to know here is on the bottom right here, you can change what character you're using. So I'll keep mine as Aokiji. And you can only do typically 5 raids a day. You get, I think it's 5 blue, 2 red. The red is doing it automatically, so you don't have to actually sit there and do it. The blue ones mean you have to, it's typically on auto. You can do it manually if you want to, but you will always be running through it. The next is the auto PvP over here. So I'm ranked 47 on my server, and essentially what you do here is you see the bounties of other. On the very top it says I'm at 96 million in my bounty, and I will never fight anyone that's above that because I'll probably lose. So you always want to try to just fight whoever you can, but just do your best with it. You can buy more attempts if you want to, but I don't know. To me, it's not really worth it. Next over here this is how you level up the shells and all that kind of stuff. I can't show you because I already finished it for the week. But in short, this levels up your shells so you can increase your bounty. Here, where Frankie was sitting, is the, in short, it's like you travel the seas, essentially, and you complete little side objectives, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. They just recently added a whole new 4 levels, so it'll be a little while before I get to be done with this, which I'm really thankful for. But essentially, on your boat, you just go around the map here, and you just do stuff. Just get as much stuff done as you can. That's the objective. And you can go back to previous ones as well. If you click on the map on the top right, you can click here and just go back to any of the old ones if you want to. I'm not going to save time. But yeah, there's that. And then if you need to translate it, go ahead and translate it. But typically it's pretty straightforward. You can also just click on them and it'll tell you what you need to do and what reward you'll get. But yeah, that's about it. You'll figure out the rest of it as you go with it. Second to last on this is the mirrors. This is a very big one. You always want to do this when you can. But in short, you have a bounty on the bottom right. To continue going further, you have to always meet the bounty. So I'm about 100k away, 130k away from being able to do this next level. But it just gives you some events to do, and it's honestly one of the more fun contents to do. I really recommend it. It shows you your rewards and all that you get for just doing it. So like example, if I beat 47 level 1, then I get, these rewards. If I beat 47 level 2, so on and so forth. At 47 level 9, I get 2 of these fragments that we were talking about earlier. That's the good stuff right there. As usual, below the treasure, you can change what character you're using. So have fun with it. Just experiment if you need to. I don't think there's any auto for it, so kind of on your own for that. But yeah, you can see also, just some other things. Like if people are speed running it, you can see how fast people are doing it and that kind of stuff. On the right, they recently added the CP9 event as a permanent thing. You can do this twice a week, once a day. You can do it more than one time a day, but then you don't get any gear. So in short, you get 3 treasure chests on the bottom left, and you only get the full rewards if you clear all 3 stages. I would say it takes about 15 minutes to do this event, so don't do it at work if you're busy or whatever. And you have to be there, and you have to be paying attention. You don't want to screw over your team, because then you're wasting everyone's time. The biggest thing to know here out of anything is the treasure on the right side here. When you get 2,800 of the thing, I don't know what this token is. It's called a token. You get to do a lotto, essentially. And you have a chance at a free rare. Well, you will get a free red piece, but it's going to be at random. So you just got to hope it's really, the best thing. Other than that, on this page, you can press the red. This is a more elite version. It's saying it recommends a bounty of, I think, 42 million or higher. I will never get to that. Well, at least not anytime soon. It'll probably be like a year before I get to that. But yeah, that's everything that there is over here. And then if you want to, you can add other people. So if you press, as I was saying on the bottom right, you can change your character here. You can also see people that are around you. You can go to their profile and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, these are actual other real players from QQ and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Next, to the right of the navigator is the arena, the 2 swords and the shield. And this is going to be your arena, real-time PvP. In short, to make this simple, the left side is non-ranked and the right side is ranked. When you go to non-ranked, it'll look like this. You can change your characters here and that kind of stuff. And so currently it's on 1v1 right now, but you can go to 3v3 as well. And yeah, just have fun with it. Typically, if you lose a match, it'll put you up against the bot. That's not the case every time in ranked PvP, but it should be the case in unranked. This is the ranked version right here. After you get to a certain point, you start going down in score up to a certain amount, so you got to be careful. But PvP to me is really hard because I have bad ping. But you want to do PvP again because it has great gold coin rewards, so you want to do that as well as doing this. So I've been slacking in my PvP. I should be way higher, but I genuinely disliked it so much that I didn't do it for a long time, and I really regret that because I will get the character here, but I won't be able to get it to 2 stars or anything like that, which is really what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get the frame, the Season 1 frame. I unfortunately will not get that, but it is what it is. So every season it should give a new character, and you're going to want to unlock the character if you're a collectionist. So keep that in mind. On the top right, where the little check thing is to the right of the character, it'll show you what you need to do to get more of these silver tokens right here. So example, it is saying that on the far left here that I have 4 of 5 wins, and I can do it up to 10 times. I'm 1 of 10. So each time I complete this, I get 1 of these up to 10, and then these other ones right here, just, things I'll probably never get. So like currently I'm ranked 1863, but if you meet these thresholds, you get an additional thing. I will never get probably past 2200, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, your goal was to try to, always get the 10 out of 10 on this, and it resets every month. So April 1st to April 30th, and then so on and so forth. And you only get 4 seasons of it. So season 1 was from December to April. So that's that. Lastly, to end this off, on the very bottom right will be PvE. Currently I'm at the very end of PvE, so it doesn't really, I can't really show you anything. But you just go through, right? On the top right up here, you can go to the very beginning here, and it goes through the actual story. It's pretty cool. You start off at this island right here, and sometimes it'll have you click on things to get treasures or whatever. Sometimes you'll see fish in the water that you can fish or whatever. But it just goes through it, and you get to see a lot of really cool things. And I recommend just spending your time looking around and doing things. But PvE is really fun in this game. It's my favorite part. But I mean, once you finish it, then you won't get a content update for a long time. It'll be a good while. So yeah. On the bottom left here is the treasure. If you get a certain amount of gold stars, then you get additional awards, and you want to always max this out when you're at the end of the story, of course. It's pretty hard to get anything other than a 3-star as well, unless you just AFK and do nothing. And yeah, that is about it. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And yeah, that's about it. Thank y'all for watching, and peace.